Hi there folks, welcome back to the Play School and thank you for joining me. So today we're going to deal with the Elton John track, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Many of you are going to know this from The Lion King, but it was actually a single in its own right, and that's the version we're going to work on. Most importantly, it's a great track. Now, it's got a lot of what we call slash chords, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute, but the bass line, the left hand, moves very intuitively, and the right hand chords, once we get amongst them, are actually really accessible. So as usual, I'm going to teach you all the chords, I'm going to talk about some basic rhythm and structure stuff, and then at the end, I'm going to give you 2 ideas to make it sound even better. So let's go. Right, this song is in the key of B flat. I like to tell you the key. So that's going to have B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. That's that pattern. And the same pattern again. And your last step in a major scale is always a half step, the closest accessible note. I'm going to deviate from those notes every now and again, but in the main, if you've got those in your brain, it's going to help. So let's crack on with the intro. We're going to start with the B flat chord, B flat, D, F. And we're going to take the B flat from the bottom, put it on the top, invert it once. Then we're going to take the D that's now on the bottom and put it on the top. Invert it twice. B flat, second inversion. This is also my favourite way to play B flat. Just feels the most comfortable out of the 3 inversions. So, excuse me. And we're going to put that with a B flat. And that is your first chord. Our second chord is an F chord, which is nice and easy for this right hand. We're just going to come down, contract your hand into an evenly spaced F, A, C, root position, evenly spaced chord, named note at the bottom. Now this is F slash A, so it's going to be with an A. The left hand for this introduction, this left hand is going to walk all the way down to D. Okay, it's a nice thing to bear in mind because it kind of means you can think about it less, think about this hand more. So now we're going to go to E flat over G. F and E flat are adjacent chords, so they don't share any notes, which means we can either go up or down. Excuse me. In this case, to put us in a nice position for when I teach you the melodic element of the intro later, we're going to go up. So then we're going to go back to the B flat where we started, but it'll be with an F. B flat slash F. B flat over F. With those slash chords, I often say like B flat over F, because I kind of think of them like flat fractions, I guess, because that's what that would look like. And also, this is high and this is low, so the B flat is in fact over the F. So the next chord after that is an E flat. Now we're going to take a little jump here, again, to keep us in line with the melodic element later. And we're going to play our E flat chord here. So we had our E flat up there. And now we're going to take the B flat from the top and put it on the bottom. Gives us our E flat chord there. B flat, E flat, G. Now we're going to find our second position for B flat, which is in root position. B flat, D, F. Okay. So I'm just going to give you the chords to go with our bass walk from B flat down to D. We've got F over A, E flat over G, B flat over F, E flat over D. Now our next bass walk, we're going to jump from the D down to the A and come back up. And that is where we'll start a verse. So that's A, B flat, C, D, E flat. And the chords, again, we're going to take a little jump. We were there, and we're going to go down to F in root position, over the A, expand up to your B flat. And then we're going to go to that B flat, by the way, is the same B flat as we did there. And then we're going to go to C minor 7. Now we're going to use this chord a couple of times. Let's quickly unpack it. C minor, a couple of ways we can find this. First one, we use our B flat scale. C minor occurs naturally in the B flat scale. So it's C, skip D, play E flat, skip F, play G. That's like probably the most theoretically correct way of finding it, but equally, C major is a chord that a lot of us have met before. So if you want to just take that, and to make major into minor, middle note goes down by a half step, C minor, both valid. We're going to put the G on the bottom. Now, we want C minor 7. I have a hack for finding sevens, which some of you may know, and that is we take our root note, the named note, C, wherever it is, top, middle or bottom, and we drop it by 2 half steps. Okay, this works for finding all 7 chords. So if we put it all together, we get a nice C minor 7 chord. Now, if we're playing the C here, we don't have to play it here. We can, don't have to. That's a perfectly good, and some might say nicer, C minor 7 chord. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because once we stop playing the C here, we've got E flat, G, and B flat, which is an E flat chord, right? And from B flat, which is the last chord we were on, that's just that nice pivot move that we did earlier on, and we're going to come across that a lot. So, F over A, B flat, E flat over C, better known as C minor 7, and then we're going to go back to that B flat in root position, but put it over a D, because that's going to lead us very nicely to the start of our verse. So let's see if we can put that all together. At the start of the verse. Okay, so we were here, and we're going to start our verse on an E flat chord. We'll take it in this position here that we just came through a second ago. So again, we're kind of going from one position away and back. There's a lot of that in this one as well. We've got E flat, and then we're going to pivot to a B flat chord, which is going to go over a D. So B flat slash D. And those are your first 6 chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat over D. And a third time, B flat over D. And then we're going to go back to C minor 7, right? Which means we can just take our right hand back to that E flat and change the bass note to C. And to finish our first cycle, we're going to go to an F. Again. Because we're essentially on an E flat chord here, no shared notes, and we're just going to nudge everything up to F. Okay, let's try those. And as it comes, surrender to the rush of day. When the heat of a rolling wind can be turned away. Then we're going to carry on. We're going to do almost exactly the same thing. We're just going to finish it differently. An enchanted moment, but it sees me through. It's enough for this G minor instead of your B flat over D. Now, G minor, G, B flat, D. Again, it occurs naturally in the B flat major scale. G, skip A, play B flat, skip C, play D. There's your G minor chord. We were here. So this is, you might say, an even better change. G minor. Now here you can feel this slight lift, slight unusual chord. It's because we're going to hit an A flat major. And that lives here. A flat, C, E flat. Yeah. You kind of have to go forwards to get it, because you've got to slide your C finger, in middle finger, or whichever finger you're picking up the C with, in between the black notes. That's what this bit of the note is for. Just to be with you. And then we've got our F. Now, A flat to F is not a particularly common kind of change, but the C is consistent to both chords. So we're going to keep it. And that is the whole of the verse. Shall we try the whole thing? Oh, I should probably say, just about the rhythm as a starting point, we can definitely, this piece starts off very mellow, so we can definitely just start with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, yeah, and that'll get you going. So, there's a kind of surrender. I think I'll do it an octave lower than Elton John. To the rush of day, when the heat of a rolling wind can be turned away, an enchanted moment, and it sees me through. It's enough for this restless warrior just to be with you. There you have it, that's your verse. Right, so into the chorus. We have finished here. And that's going to lead us nicely. We've got our F chord with our F at the top, where your pinky is. And we're going to move to our B flat in the root position here. B flat, D, F. And again, our left hand is walking down. B flat, A, G, skip to E flat. Okay, B flat. Back to the F, but over A. G minor, which we've met before, and then E flat. We've just done E flat to G minor, now we're just doing it the other way around, which means all that happens is the D goes to the E flat. Yeah? And you feel the love tonight. And then back to B flat, but we're going to do our B flat this time, because we're here. Pivot again, right? Such a lovely move. We're going to take a B flat there. And then back to E flat again. Now, our left hand is going to walk chromatically here. That means using every available note. And we like chromatic sections because we don't really have to remember them. We just play every note. And with those, we've got E flat, C over E. Again, E flat to C, it's not a very common change, but the G this time is common. So we can just kind of rearrange at the top half of your hand and then pivot to our F that we know and love. Okay. We'll do the first half and then we're going to go back over all of it. And then we're going to go into our E flat. So back to E flat where we were, pivot to B flat, over D, and then G minor. Now we're going to go to B flat over F, which means the only change is both of our G's go to F, and then back to E flat, and then possibly my favourite bit, the left hand walk at this time. C, D, E flat, E, F. You could think of that as chromatic, but missing out the C sharp, or the scale, but adding an E. Whatever works. We're going to go, C minor, just in the regular C minor this time. B flat over D, back to E flat, then that E flat to C move, and then the C to F move. It's just like what we did, but with a couple of extra chords attached. So let's go over that. B flat, G minor, D goes up to E, B flat in the other position, little chromatic walk up, pivot to F, 3, 4, back to E flat, to B flat over D, G minor, just the F, G to F, up to F, E flat again, and then nice little walk up, C minor, B flat over D, E flat, C over E, F. Second half, same as the first. G minor. In fact, this is it's basically the same, but we've just missed a chord. Or swapped it for another chord. And here is where we slightly alter it. We're going to play C minor, as we did before, B flat over D, as we did before, E flat over E flat, or just E flat as it's known. And then instead with the chromatic bit, we're actually going to play E flat over F, which gives us a lovely, it's like a 4 chord over the 5 bass, which is a lovely dramatic way of getting back to our 1 chord. But because it's Elton and he just delays this right hand, suspends this right hand on the 4 chord, on the E flat chord, before pivoting back to the 1 chord. So let's try that whole chorus. Just to be with you. And can you feel the love tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we've gone this far. Can you feel the love tonight? Where it's laid to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds leave the And that's everything you need to know. Right, so I always say this, the structure is very, very simple. We're going to play intro, verse, chorus, intro, verse, chorus, and then an outro. One tiny point between verse 1 and the chorus, just to be with you. And can you feel? And 2 beats on that F there to stay in our strict 4/4. But the second time, what I think happens here is that Elton John turns the A flat into a 2/4 bar and then plays a full 4/4 on the F. I think. That's just off the top of my head right now. Doesn't really matter. The only way, the way we're going to think about it is we're going to play the A, and the second time we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Just a little extra 2 beats as we go into the chorus the second time. And then after that second chorus, we've got like a quiet outro, which is almost as good as a quiet chorus, I guess. So we've done leave and then we've got it's enough to make kings and vagabonds leave the rest. Slowly, quietly, finish it off. Right, 2 bits of extra jazz for you today. First one is a very Elton John-y kind of piano rhythm fill kind of affair. Let me explain. There's a kind of surrender to the heat of a rolling wind. Those little kind of linking notes that I've put between the chords there. Elton John does this in an incredibly clever, imaginative, complex way. We're just going to start with the bare bones of it, right? All we're doing, whatever chord you're playing, just as you move to the next chord, you're going to play in time the bottom, middle, top of your right hand notes, okay? If you're familiar with counting like the traditional music way, 1, 2, 3, 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4 again, 1, 2, 3. That's the rhythm. If you're not familiar with that kind of counting, doesn't matter. The main thing is, as long as you're playing in time, you know, just keep that rhythm strong. all the way through and play the notes that you've got your fingers on, and you're not going to go far wrong. And you can play that anywhere. Etc, etc. Right? Give that a go, see how it works out for you, and that is really transportable onto any song. The second thing I want to teach you is the actual notes for the intro. I've given you a good start here. All of the chords that we hit right back 15 odd minutes ago, the topmost note was the note that you're going to play now. We're just going to add some extra. So we're going to start here, and then we're going to go down to our F over A, and all we're going to do, we've got our thumb on an F, we're going to jump up with our pinky to the F an octave higher. I'm often saying, knowing an octave for most people, weirdly, is kind of like a hand's width. It's really useful to know what an octave feels like for your hands so that you don't have to think about it, right? So does that. Octave, E flat over G. So there's your rhythm. Sorry, your melody. Yeah. Now your next bit's probably the only kind of complicated bit. We're going to break a chord, but backwards. We're going to go. Yeah. We want 4 notes. So we're actually going to use the E flat that we're coming from. So we're breaking the B flat chord, but before we do that, we're momentarily getting suspended on the E flat. Yeah? And then, so let's do those. Octave, E flat chord, broken chord with the addition of the E flat, and down to here. Then we're going to combine both of those moves. We're going to go, pick the octave up, break it. So we're on a B flat over D, pick up the B flat with your pinky, and then imagine there's your B flat chord up there, right? And then these, we don't need to add anything, they're just the right notes already. Okay, let's try the whole thing. To the song. Have a go at that. You've got questions, comments, that's what section below is for. Have a great time. I'll see you in the next video.